Okay, I'm back. Now, what I was talking about was the color of a copper penny. Now, you know, it's not exactly my same color of brown, but it's damn sure brown. You understand what I'm saying? Um, so now I want you to the next thing to Google is 1828. That's the year 1828 definition of American. The 1828 definition of American. Now I'm gonna read this out loud, and here it is on the screen in case you're curious. It says, "This is the Webster's Dictionary, 1828, American, a noun, a native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of Europeans born in America." Not sure if you saw that or not. And I'll read it again. American, a noun, native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans, but now apply to the descendants of Europeans born in America. Okay? So the proof is everywhere. It's always been here, but our minds have been directed elsewhere. And here's the first thing a person will probably tell you. Oh, well, they meant red as in the red man. No. What they meant was the brown man. Because the copper penny is a reddish brown color. A reddish or brownish color, depending on how old or how, oxidated the copper is. There's no. Anyway, that's just another little bit of proof. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a whole bunch more proof out there. Matter of fact, if I got time, let me see. Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin. Let me see if I could find a quote by him. He was very upset that they wanted to send German people here to America. It was some problems that went on in Europe, and they needed to send some German people here, and he wasn't too happy about that. Let me see if I could find it. Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin. At the time, he called them Palatine Boers. I'm going to see if I can find this because it was very interesting. And you might be wondering, what in the hell has got to do with black people being Aboriginal Americans? It's a fair question. And I found it. Anyway, it's let me just double check something real quick. Don't waste too much of your time. Okay. This is definitely the article. A one version of it. And I'm going to turn the camera around here. It says, Benjamin Franklin, observation concerning the increase of mankind peopling of countries. And I'm going to read this section here, okay? And you could look this up yourself. But technically, here it goes. Now, again, I brought this up because there obviously must be some proof in this that's pointing to the fact that black people have always been here in America, and more specifically, Aboriginal Americans, not Africans. We're not from Africa, not at all. And to me, that's a wonderful thing to finally know who you are and where you truly come from. And my hope and goal for you is that once you're completely convinced, is that you'll do your own genealogy. You'll talk with your older relatives in your own particular family. And you'll just simply ask them a few questions, what was life like growing up when you was a kid? Because you have to approach this subject matter delicately. Matter of fact, I'll get to that after this because it's real important because it's what I learned talking to my own people. But anyway, I'll read this. It says, which leads me to one remark, that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionately very small. All Africa is black or tawny. Tawny means like a darker complexion. Asia, chiefly tawny. Our people was in Asia, and they mix with those lighter folks, and folks are tawny. They ain't completely white, is what he's saying. America, exclusive of the newcomers, that's them, English people is what he's talking about. Wholly so. Did you catch that? America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. Wholly so what? Black. Because he just said the sentence above that all Africa is black or tawny. Asia, chiefly so. America, wholly so. Whole continent just full of black people. You and me. Brown people, black people, light-skinned black folks. Us. All of this. North, South America, and the islands. We always been here. Millions of us. Huge numbers of us. Anyway, I'll go on because that ain't all the proof in this little passage. This passage got some shit in it. Here we go. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. And in Europe, the Spaniards, the Italians, French, Russian, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarty complexion. Swarty is a darker complexion. You know what I'm saying? Swarty complexion. As are the Germans also. The Saxons only accepted. So he's saying all of those other people, they kind of got some dark in them. You know what I mean? They ain't completely white. You feel what I'm saying? That's what he's telling you in his own words. Now he says the Saxons only accepted. So he says the Saxons are white people. I'm gonna keep reading. The Saxons only accepted, who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. English and Saxons, only white people on the face of the earth. They don't consider those other people to be white like we do. You feel me? Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, Swedes, and Germans. Swarty complexion. Google swarty when you get a minute. As a matter of fact, I'll Google it for you right here, right now. Just so we be on the same page at the same time. Swarty. Swarty. All right. Swarty. Adjective. Dark skinned. Okay. Now, I'm going to finish reading this. I'm going to read it some more. Yeah, how about that? Okay, make up the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers were increased. So he wishes more white people. And while we are, as I may call it, scoring our planet by clearing America of woods, at the time they was chopping down trees and taking them to England and building homes and such. And so to make this side of the globe reflect a brighter light to the eyes of inhabitants in Mars or Venus. So he's saying if you was up in space looking down at the planet Earth, by them clearing the woods, you're making it a brighter place, or a whiter place. Get it? Okay, so he's saying, so why should we, in the sight of superior beings, those Martians and those aliens, so why should we, in the sight of superior beings, darken its people? Okay? Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and tawnies? See what I'm saying? Benjamin Franklin was one of the founding fathers of the United States. He wasn't talking about bringing no Africans here. Or, I don't know if he... Did I even get to that part yet? I didn't get to that part yet. But he considered them to be darker people, not white. Okay? This is important. Now keep listening. So he says, why increase darken his people. Why increase the sons of Africa by planting them in America, where we have so fair an opportunity by excluding all blacks and 20s of increasing the lovely white and red. White and red or brown. Ha. It's you and me. Feel what I'm saying? But perhaps I'm partial to the complexion of my country. For such kind of partiality is natural to mankind. So, for one, Benjamin Franklin, okay, he's a racist, big time. He ain't sugarcoating shit here. He's saying, why would we want to bring Africans or the sons of Africans here, meaning those European people who were darker complexioned than him? Italians, the Swedes, the Germans, the French, the Russian. You understand what I'm saying? And he didn't want Africans here. You know what I'm saying? So, think about it. This is a founding father. He didn't want to bring no other people into America. Obviously, it was enough people here already. The black people who were here already, because he said it. All Africa is black and 20. Asia chiefly 20. America wholly so. You understand what I'm saying? We've been here. This is the dirt, the ground under your feet is yours. Always has been. They have got together and just said, don't ask, don't tell. European continent says, you know what, we won't even talk about this subject matter. We just keep this shit hush-hush between yucks and hooks, between you and me. And, hey, who's gonna know? You feel what I'm saying? So little stuff like this proves to you who you is. So, and that was Benjamin Franklin from his own mouth. Now that you know what to look for. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so getting back to what I was saying earlier, and you might have to remind me what I was saying earlier. You know what I'm saying? Oh, about your genealogy, yeah. Here's what I learned about my people. Once this was turned on to me, and I got to thank Dane Calloway, and again, Curry Mio Aha for doing the research that they do, because this is what woke me up. Hopefully it'll wake you up. But anyway, when you talk to your older relatives, you can't just jump in straight at them. You know what I mean? No, you got to tell them you're interested in the family's history. You want to know, how their life was for them growing up. Because a lot of their relatives were killed if they was to say that they was Indian. I've got an older uncle. I never met him before. He was a good swimmer, from what his brothers and sisters tell me, my uncles and aunties. He was hanged and threw in the river. They killed him. White folks. Because he let slip that he was Indian. That's my Uncle LC, oldest, yeah, I believe he was my Uncle LC. And my auntie, she was raped by white men for the same reason and left for dead in the woods. She actually lived. She lived out her life, but she never had children. They damaged her just that much. So again, you don't come at your people's harsh-headed like that, because they was traumatized by this. So much so that a lot of the people didn't even tell their own kids who they were anymore, just out of pure safety. And how do I know this? I've got uncles and aunties, some one or two that's knows absolutely about their heritage and past, and other ones who don't know anything about it. You understand what I'm saying? And it was the older ones who knew a little bit, but the younger ones didn't. And to me, that's a damn shame. But it's a fact. Absolute fact. So when you talk to your relatives, be mindful of that. Ease into it. And here's simply what I did. I'll talk to somebody who I ain't talked to in years. I call them up. I get an example. My uncle say, hey, okay, how you doing? I haven't heard your voice. I just want to call you and tell you I love you, man. And then I was like, I want to know as much about my family lineage as possible, and that's why I'm calling you. You know, my mama passed, so I can't talk to her, so I need to talk to you about it. He said, oh, yeah, I understand that, nephew, you know. He said, what do you want to know? I said, well, I just the general stuff, you know, where'd you grow up at? And you write that down. How many brothers and sisters did you have? And he listed off all his brothers and sisters, starting from the oldest one to the youngest. And then, you know, asked him about schooling. And this particular uncle told me, you know, that he went to some trade schooling when he was younger. And he also was able to help his family quite a bit. Matter of fact, he said the first telephone and refrigerator my grandparents ever owned, he bought. And he couldn't have been more than 15 years old at the time, I think he told me. So that was good to know that. You know what I mean? And your relatives love talking about their past. They just don't have anybody to tell it to. So when you call and talk to them or meet with them and you're really interested in them, they're very interested in opening up to you. But you got to be gentle, and you know, just got to ease into it. And then I asked him, I said, hey, tell me, do you know, have you heard of anything in the family past? This particular uncle. He says, no, I didn't hear of anything. His older brother I talked to says, yeah, absolutely. He says, we're Blackfoot Indian, and he said we also got some German and Irish in us. You know, he said we like mutts. Is what he said. You know, but it's amazing. You know, but anyway, and I've talked to some other people when they asked some of their relatives about this. The people start whispering. Yeah, we got Indian in our family. You feel what I'm saying? It's that deep. This is year 2020, and they so damaged from the past, thinking white people could hear them through the walls in their own house, and they whispering about it. So that tell you how traumatizing it was. So this ain't no shit you take lightly. You understand what I'm saying? Because so much has been taken from you, and you don't realize it because you've been misdirected and lied to for so long. Now, again, this is my YouTube channel. If something you've seen sparked anything in you and you want to know more, subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell, you know, kind of put an alert on that. That'll help people come into the conversation. And my goal is to help you. I also teach a 4-week class. We meet 1 hour video conference. We meet for 1 hour per week, and you get homework assignments for the next week. And this is a way to get you all the information in a quicker time frame as possible. Focus, laser beam, and it also help you blow through some of the mental cobwebs that we have. You know, and all of this information is out there. But as you can see, it's buried. It's buried here, it's buried there, it's covered up. You see what I'm saying? So to have somebody who can point you in the right direction and show you some things is vital, in my opinion. You know, if you want to know about my class, you know, leave me a message. You can go to Facebook. My Facebook page is my name, Daniel Jackson. And right now I don't have a separate page this says the absolute truth, but you can definitely go to the YouTube channel and leave a message, and I'm sure I'll get it. But for right now, I'm gonna end this video. And again, you know, welcome to this knowledge. It's yours. You're a universal being. You're melanated. This whole universe is you. You feel me? So I'll get at you later on with a few more videos. And like I said, I'm just going to teach this thing and so that you'll have this information. And that's the bottom line. So talk to you later.